screen was having a laugh. Mercury retrograde. Was it the pre-shadow is in full effect right here. Let's begin again. Namaste! Grand Rising, Divine Feminine. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. For your message or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Yes, Divine Feminine. Just giving it a hot minute for the big cats to assemble, darling dears. First in the chat, Millie de la Prida, Wagwan, Big Cat Wave, Chrissy Dupree, how are you? Pinky's up. Let's press on at a hot trot. Why? Because the plot twist is happening, darling dear. It's happening. Yes, 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 yes. There's no need to wonder, no need to worry. Why? Because you are a praying cat. Not only are you praying, you are James 2:14. Yes, baby. You put your back into it, darling dears, because what faith without works is dodo dead. And you've had enough of that. Quite enough. You had to take it off like a dirty shirt, darling dears. They're waiting for you to fall. Falter, fail. They want you crusty of lip, right? Confused of eye, barking at passing cars, begging friends. Listen, let me tell you about the people pleasing. Can we talk about the people pleasing? This is a PSA, a PSA. For all the divine feminines out there. Pleasing who? No one but the Most High than you. I told you we run by a what? The 5-fingered rule. The first rule is love the Most High. The second is love yourself. The third, your progeny have to come behind you, because if you don't love yourself, what are you going to do with them? Behind that, 4 and 5 is the body and bag. Why? Tight and right, darling dear, and get to the bag. Why? Because it creates the choice for your season 2, darling dears. Back to the title. All your haters can go and RSVP their mumma. That's right, Divine Feminine. Many of you are from different countries and you don't quite understand what that means. It's a bit like saying suck your mother. Well, you might not even understand that. So, RSV your mumma means love and light. With 2 of these and 1 of those. Yes, darling dears. That's exactly what it means. So we're going to be doing a us versus them kind of read. Why do I say us? Because I'm a feminine blood. Why? Because how do I know? I gave birth to 3 babies and 2 of them were cut out of me. And they get upset when I speak about it. But I talk about it, right? Yeah, I do. As I sip my mocha. Because I ain't getting smoked. People waiting for you to be crying into your fist, darling dears. They want you outside the train station selling matchsticks for a penny or 2. Well, it didn't happen. They thought you'd cry yourself into a puddle because they wasn't in your energy. It didn't happen. They thought your progeny would be reprobates, just like theirs, right? But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Scotty, pinky's up. You understood the assignment, Divine Feminine. And I, as your bestie, and we are besties until the end, unlike Chucky, darling dear. There's no chelation where we go, darling dear. The only chelation we do is of our achievements and our goals, darling dears. As you continue to go from platform to platform, darling dear, rising above the rest, you become an eagle cat, where you what? Before you comment, you drop down and get your eagle on. Because not every situation and circumstance deserves your undivided attention. All right. Let's dive in, darling dears. Let's dive in. We'll start with the dice. Oh, you've got a double 3, darling dears. As you know, the energy of the 3, the key word is conflict, darling dear. This is a nerve-wracking period for your haters, darling dears. Yes, 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 yes. They've started what? Quarreling and arguing amongst themselves. Why? Because they all expected different aspects of a downfall for you. They thought you'd be serving butt cheeks for air, darling dears, for air. Well, guess what? Your 3 goes into a 6, where you learn to what? Cooperate with the universe, darling dears. Realizing that you had to heal your shadow side, darling dears. Not get rid of, darling dear, because you need the dark and the light in order to what? Sock it to them, Scotty. Sock it to them. People think that you're spiritual and you're religious. You can't tell them to F off. Yes, you can. You can. But not everybody deserves that, darling dears. Some of them, you must do it in silence. Full on Easter Island and Stevie Wonder, darling dears. You have an energy of the 6. You may be, your birthday could be the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th. Or that date is significant to you, or it will be during your season 2. The 6 also brings into mind the master number what? 33, darling dears. Your creativity is because you what? Tapped into your Christ consciousness, darling dears, creating joy and harmony within yourself. Why? Because you learned how to process your feelings, and you understood your feelings in many cases was not fact. You learn to work with your traumas, darling dears, not be drowned by your traumas. This is why they're mad. This is why they're arguing amongst themselves. This is why they have to go on RSVP, their mumma. We'll be using gang signs going forward because I've already explained what this and that means. All right, let's dive in a little further. The letters represented by the number 6 is FOX, darling dears. The number 6 in numerology is ruled by Venus. Venus rules the letters U, V, and W. So you've got FOX, U, V, and W. Amongst your hateroids, darling dears, the hateroids, they're like a hemorrhoid, but they've got 2 feet. Anyhow, we're pressing on. Your luckiest days over the next few weeks will be a Sunday and a Thursday. These will be power days for you for writing proposals, putting together, I don't know, a dissertation, whatever it is, darling dears. It's going to be your power days. Remember, I told you that. The energy of the double 3, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Are you ready for it, bestie? Divine Feminine, you have majorskrilla.com on its way for you. So I told you your season 2 is going to be what? Padded with resources. Resources, darling dears. This is why you have to continue to be what? Master number 33. Tap into your creativities with humor. Let your imagination fly. But remember to write that shit down. Because I'm telling you, when you get to a certain age like I am, over half of 100, if you don't write that shit down, the progeny be on the roadside, food would have burned. Listen, but the one thing I don't have to write down is remembering to pay a bill, blood. Let me tell you something. And when you pay bills, Divine Feminine, pay them with an open heart. Pay them with gladness that you have the resources. Why? The universe will give it back to you 100-fold. Take the time to volunteer your energies for someone who is in a more drudgerous position, not somebody that put you in that position, mind. Remember, your energy is not for everyone. And as you go into your season 2 and give them the what? Socket to you without the Vaseline, kind of a salute, darling dears. They will have to RSVP their mumma. The energy of the 6 is Gemini energy, lover's energy in tarot, darling dears. It speaks about the right choices that you're making. It also speaks about calling in of your true soul tribe. Many are going to be turning up in this season 2 for you, darling dears. Why? Because you've done the work, are doing the work. You understood when you cry tears of joy. If you're crying tears of what? The past? Please! Hey! And you're new to this channel? Welcome. I am not going to hurt you, and it's going to give you some good advice. Go to the mirror, blood. Look deep into your eye chakras, right? Deep. If you're crying over your hater or hateroids that you had to get rid of, darling, there's the 2 feet ones. You better slap the shiznai out of yourself until blood and spittle flies. Right? Then rub the tears in. Why? Because they're the best skin tightener this side of the universe, darling dears. Right? Wash your face like David and come back. so we can finish this rundown of your season 2 and why it's killing them softly and why they must RSVP. Demuma. The Lover's energy, Gemini energy, also speaks about relatives, cousins, aunts, uncles, distant relatives like that, as well as siblings, darling dears. Maybe it's a sibling that you have to say. I told you we're using gang signs today, communicative dance. I'm not going to keep repeating. Well, I might. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of there, here and there and everywhere, darling dears. Bear with me. As I was saying, you're going to be making what physical connect, darling dear, not just online with True Soul Tribe in this season. Why? Because you asked Divine for help, but Divine whispered back, help thyself first. Socrates told us this. Tesla told us this. I'm telling you this. And Einstein also said, yes, he did. It's madness to keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome, especially when you're dealing with bottom feeders who are up to what? Bottom feeding and giving out big mugs of hopium and cognitive dissonance, trying to keep you in what? A mud hut. Spit on that, darling dear. Spit on the mud hut. Nearly had me stuck in my 31 teeth, and you know how I feel about that. I get slitty-eyed, sweaty, and very upset. Right, let's carry on, darling dears. We're going to go with a runestone. Gosh, that flipped right past me. Okay. Good golly and gosh, look, darling dears, you've got Hagalaz. This is represented by the tower in tarot, darling dears. Your haters, right, that are RSVPing, Demuma, they're going through what? Catastrophes, right? Losses, lots of losses, sicknesses, hardship and pains, darling dears. They're feeling as though this was a sudden change. They're not realizing the energy they're putting out there is coming right back to them. Why? Because as a divine feminine, a volunteer on this Malkuth, darling dears, you call judgment. And when you call judgment on someone, darling dears, this is not chaos magic. It's because you hold the divine light. The judgment is that they sit in the karma they created. The judgment is that it does not fall on their second and third generation. The judgment is that they deal with what they sowed. Remember, I told you that. This is why when you speak, darling dears, it comes into existence. This is why when we speak and put things out there into the atmosphere, darling dears, it must be with love and light. Your enemies, your haters are getting instant karma, not knowing that it's their own doing. You don't wish them bad, you wish them well. Someone's got to clap as you get into your season 2. Posh, clap. Hey, hey. Yeah. Lots of what undoing going on around the unevolved, darling dears. No transformation for them. Imagine the life they're leading, darling dears, living through the same day or the same year or the same decade. It's Groundhog Day, right? In the crevice of the devil's balls. I'm telling you, hot, sweaty, and what? Very, 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 very frightening. This is why they're trying to what? Argue with you, darling dears. They would like to come and argue. They're causing confusion at your metaphoric rise. They have to call you the coach. Why? Because miracle worker is not an official title, as we said at the top of this read. They want to judge you and your past abilities, darling dears, like the way that they would judge a fish climbing a tree. You had the right tools at the wrong address, divine feminine. You did. You've learned to turn your pain into champagne, darling dears. Everything that was sent to what? Harm you, to kill you, to put you down, to put you in lack, lose your self-esteem, darling dear, lose your mind. Every one of those things, divine, put to good use for you to prosper, divine feminine. So give thanks for your season 2 and the resources that are going to be put on your tableau, darling dears. But never you forget, you move in silence. You only speak when it's time to say checkmate, and you argue with no one. You ain't got no argument with no one. They're beefing with God. You've already called judgment. You can't do it twice, lest the boomerang fall back on you, Divine Feminine. Everybody is in their season 2, but yours is divinely guided because of the shadow work you did. You faced your shadow side and realized that yes, you got a bit toxic around them too, and there was something that was broken in you. Whether you had the best upbringing, something wasn't quite there that attracted those beings into your life. And remember, everyone that was in your life, darling dears, you had a contract for them to come and F you over. But your part of the contract, Divine Feminine, was to overcome. Kick down doors, bust through windows. You are what? I've got to think of a new word for you, darling dears. You are the what? James Bond of cats. Fist bump. 00 can't be fucked with. Right. Let's get your Oracle Ancestral message, because this is taking some time. We're going to use the... if I can find it. Nope, can't find that one, so I'm going to use a different one. All right. What does your ancestors want you to know? As you what? Limber up for your season 2. Thank you. What did I say? This is why you have to be very careful with your words, darling dears. When you call judgment on a situation, remember I told you that? You are the healer in the situation. You were sent to heal, to show people how to bend the matrix, to show compassion, darling dears. You try to take many with you, and look at this. Those look like taboons on your back, darling dear. Yeah. They treated you like the ugly duckling. They laughed at your philosophies. They laughed at your endurance because you was enduring them. Law 15 of the 48 laws of power. Judgment means crush your enemies, darling dears, with their own workings. You have the Watchtower of the East. Some of you may live in the East or will be traveling towards the East, darling dears. This is telling me, because it's air energy, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. East represents springtime, darling dears. Something significant is coming to your hemisphere during the springtime. Okay. Again, the Watchtower of the East tells you to what? Continue to what? Hold on to your creativities. Somebody has a hobby that they're going to turn around, darling dear. This is your season. Get it going. Take it out of your cranium, get it into a plan, and assemble your team, because I'm telling you, you are being aided and abetted with whatever you're going through, darling dears, or wanting to get on with. You tried to heal, and what did they do? I'll tell you what they're doing now. They're RSVPing. They're mumma. I can't make it up, Divine Feminines. What they wish for you, what they expected to happen to you, all of the negative talk. I told you negative talk is spell work as well, because words are spellings, darling dears. You have to understand the significance and the symbology of things that are going on in this Malkuth. You can't be going around with blinders on your eye. They tried to hex you because you chose to get great, and your season 1 was fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Listen, they better hold on to their pantaloon, because they will definitely be defecating in it. We have the ending of a 9. A nine speaks about fruition, ending of a cycle, darling dears, but 9 is a highly spiritual number. It's also a reminder for you to what? Continue to be selfless. The number 9 is ruled by Pluto as well as Mars energy. So the transformation of self, it was aggressive, darling dears. As I said, many of you, it was very hard for you to let go, but you let go, you must. It's just like if you're trying to save someone who's drowning and you tell them to keep still, just relax, and they will pull you down as well, and you'll drown with them, blood. And the difference between that, they'll still be standing on your shoulders and you're both drowning, blood. The hex fell back on them. And I told you, when you call judgment just the once, not for their second and third generation, you did no hocus pocus. Your heart was clean. Because the confusion, you was at it, dog, to get the 3 twice. The level of passive aggressive, the lies, the storytelling, and all because of envy, jealousy, and hate, because you chose to bring healing to a situation. Maybe you've got different practices. Maybe you spoke about your incense, your tarot card, whatever. Whatever method you used to heal thyself, darling dears, you did great, fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. They tried to cast aspersion on it, but yet in the quiet of their home, they are confused, darling dears, as they try to do what you did with all of that wickedness in their soul. What did I say? You did your shadow work and they didn't, darling dear. They're saying mirror, mirror on the wall. And the mirror just what? Said crack, crack. Reflect on your shadow side, darling dears. Because it is part of your survival kit and it will aid and abet your season 2. You know not what not to get into. You know not what to allow yourself to be controlled by. Anything on this malkuf that you are addicted to, whatever that might be, it will be your controller, and it's an opening for negative spirits to attach to you. Always work on your shadow side, darling dears. Keep that ego in check. That same ego kept you in wicked situations. That was tight, darling dear, tight. Let's get 2 decks. I'm going to get 2 different decks. I'm going to get you. And then, yeah, 3 of Wands, your ships are coming in. This also speaks about continue with your vision, continue with your planning. As I said, you'll be sent helpmates, helping hands along the way. Why? Because it's your season 2, darling dear. Some of you are going to be traveling, relocating. We already saw the direction of east. It could be in the east, or the east of the area that you live in, darling dear. Relocation, or you're moving away from the east, darling dear. Maybe that's where all of the negativity was. Split your deck. Again, we see the energy of the Lovers, as we saw on the dice, darling dears. The energy of the 6. As speaking, it appears you are making the right choices and calling in what? True soul tribe. For some, it will be a passionate union. Look, haterade, hateroiters, hateroid. Look at eyes. They can't sleep, darling dears, but yet they're captivated. They can't stop talking about you, even though the elastic band is across their mouth, darling dears. They're still finding a way to communicate their true feelings about themselves, because it's only when you look in the mirror and you're only hating on you. And remember, Divine Feminine, protect yourself. Mirrors are portals. Obsidian crystal or black tourmaline next to any mirror that you have in your boudoir. Four of Wands. It was a destabilized foundation, darling dear. There was no luck, there was no blessing. And there's something about the family gatherings, darling dears. You wasn't motivated to go around your family members. There was no joy for you. It was a tense time. Many circumstances and situations had to be banished from your life. And it wasn't for a week, it's not for a month, it's for air, darling dears. Don't go back, Divine Feminine, lest I be tainted by the same brush of wickedness. Directing all of that negative hate. They're looking at your pictures, darling dears. Yeah. And what do they see? The baddest of them all, darling, the Empress energy. They see that you know your worth. They see that you're abundant. They see you taking care of your progeny if you have them. They see you birthing new projects. Why? They're peeping peepers. I told you, the stalking stalkers. And they're toxic. Look at all the toxic energy. 3 of Cups on its face, darling dears. That's about gossips. They're in their feelings, right? Your woodworks, you minding your own business and becoming abundant, is creeping up on them like a cheap lace thong. Yeah. Hey, hey. Woo chow. How do you feel now that you've liberated yourself, gotten away, chewed off your proverbial foot? Hey, hey. You've got the 5 of Cups, and you left nothing but liars, darling. These emotional manipulators, right? This goes to 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups is about what? People looking at pictures, having nostalgia, darling, just wishing that your emotional energy was still around them. But we also have the Page. The Page is an effing liar, a skin peeling liar, somebody who's extremely negative, darling dears. They live in ego based mode all of the time, darling dear. This is someone that you know that they've got some regrets. Yeah, you've got regrets as well. What's that? The regret that you didn't leave sooner. It is what it is. That's not a regret. That's wishful thinking, blood. You've already gone, so let it go. Let it go, DF. Let it go. You see them as liars, right? Perpetrators of wickedness, wanting to slip you off your flip-flop of common sense. You understood that if you continue to focus on them, it's like your goat you was drowning, darling dears. This is somebody that's in depression. Being around these people, it's like you're in the bottom of a swimming pool, right? There's no water in the swimming pool, and then you're trying to climb up the walls with your bare hands, and the walls are what? 8 feet high. That is what the energy on you, that was on you when you was around them, darling dear. You remember a lot of things in the past, but as I said, you can't live there. It's about your shadow work. You have to be the one that sets the right intention and tone for what you want to perpetrate in your hemisphere for season 2. Nothing outside of yourself can control what is meant for you according to your divine plan. This is why I tell you all of the time, divine feminine, your birth natal chart is so important. The 4th, the 8th and the 12th house will tell you about the endings that you're going to face in life. Okay, the opposite house to the 12th house, to those houses, right, will tell you the things that you will have to overcome, right? The 3rd, the 7th and the 11th house will tell you about the relationships in your life. The house opposite those will tell you what you have to overcome in order to get into a more peaceful state within your relationships. The 1st, the 5th and the 9th house will tell you about your life. And as I said before, the house opposite will tell you what you have to overcome in order to get your life on the right equilibrium. The 2nd, the 6th and the 10th house will tell you how to earn skrilla, build a business, go after everything, darling dear. Yeah, as well as your part of fortune, see what house that's in, and it will also give you extra skills in how to what? Bend the matrix, darling dears. I told you the divine will grant it unto thee, the divine feminine, but you have to work for it. It's not going to fall into your lap. You chose to come back. Gave up all your lovely memories. Yeah, to come back. You know that at least they see you as the baddest of them all, darling dear. Toxic, jealous, there's arguments, fighting, and it's on a what again? A 3. Good golly and gosh. When we see 3 3s on the tableau, darling dears, they're arguing about your stability and your foundation. And what has the arguments led for them? Dickheads, blood. They're a bunch of dickheads, pandering dickheads, right? We've got the what? The world card on its face. It looks like the fool on this deck, on its face, darling dears. And we've got the what? Knight of Wands. Empty vessels, darling dears, going round and round, going over the same thing. Nothing new's learned, right? Lots of unhealedness. Yes, they're watching you, darling dears, and every time they watch you, right, it's a blade to their black heart and a stone to their eye chakra. Knight of Wands on its face, darling dears. These people have they've got no new energy to tell whatever they're telling about you two, darling dears. Because anybody that they've spoken to you about, here you are. Because don't think when they're talking about you, right, those people are just gonna sit back and take their word of it. No, blood. Everybody got the what? Jazz hands and the keyboard gangsters. People research. Even if you meet someone on the street or at a gathering or whatever, as soon as you say what your name is, they're on your social media, blood. This is why I tell you, Divine Feminine, we lock down. You don't have your social media, your personal social media out to the public for people to read while they're what? Planning and plotting and strategizing against you. No. These people are watching you on the World Wide Web, darling dears, sending a lot of negative energies to you. What's this? And it's lies. Bare lies. This is emotional, immature energy. Page of Cups, right? You got the Page of Cups in the upright. Because you know what their energy they come with. They've got it in the reverse, darling dears. They don't know that they don't have the knowledge, or they haven't done any of the work to understand that all of the negativity comes from them and it's from their own childhood. So they're living out the wickedness from their childhood on you, and many of them, the wickedness in their childhood was the only wickedness they saw in their childhood was the fact that you was there. And they earmarked you as what? That's right, Divine Feminine, the black sheep. They did. So what's your season 2 shaping up to be? Skrilla, money, success, keep winning, back firmly turned, law 16 of the 48 laws of power. This is accolades and achievements, darling dears. This is the season where you'll be what? Brushing off your shoulders, darling dears. Shining up your nails. You worked hard for this, darling dears. And what you have achieved so far is going to pale in comparison to what your season 2 is about to look like. You may even have as many as what? 8 helpmates sent your way, darling dears. How will you know? Use your discernment. You'll feel it in your tummy, darling dears, whether it's right or wrong. How are they going to cope with your season 2? Yeah, apart from what? That's right, bestie. RSVPing. Demuma. Listen, they can't hide from it, darling. They're hermit energy. Secretly in their mind, they're going to be going crack on crazy, darling dears. Yes, yes. In some cases, they're going to feel betrayed. They feel, oh my God. Oh, wow. Listen, this is a whole lot. Listen. Look. The planning, the lies that they're telling, because they worked hard on it, but it was working on them, darling dear. Boomerang season. Still lying, darling dear. Would love to come back and give you a cup of hopium and cognitive dissonance. However, the judgment you called is on they, them, and Yeah, we've got the what? Strength card. They're amongst people that are what? Bringing them down even further, darling dears. They're in good company. King of Cups, wanting to master their emotions. They remember how loyal you was in that situation. They will never see it again. They're around bitter, twisted, jealous people, right? Some of them are gamblers. Yeah. Self-importance, self-importance, darling dears. Like the Emperor's New Clothes, right? And all they do is go through tower moment after tower moment. They call this on themselves. And you know this. Hey, hey! That's their business, blood. They're gonna feel isolated within the groups of their peers, darling dears. Why? Because they've got to shut up. Because they've given themselves a less than season. That's their business. Look. What did I say, Divine Feminine? You already called judgment on them and you freed yourself to what? Get great. I can't make this up. This is why I show you the cards. Be very careful with your words, darling dears. You are a light worker, star seed. You are a healer, Divine Feminine. Your words carry spiritual weight. So don't just be calling judgment on people that, I don't know, cut you off in traffic and things. No, blood. The situation has to be dead serious. Dead serious. Yeah. They're looking at your happiness, darling dear. And look, Karma is on them like white on rice. They know that you will never take them back. 6 of Cups on its face. Hey, well, I don't think there's anything more you can say after that, darling dear. Judgment. Let's hear from these cowards. We'll go to an intuitive deck. We've got Capricorn energy, darling dear. Somebody that was status seeking, darling dears. You've created some kind of status or foundation for them. Right? In some cases, you had to get them arrested for DV, darling dears. Please don't bring up the past. I don't live there anymore. They want to bring up the past, darling dears, but they're bringing it up amongst themselves, all whilst they're under the judgment, right? What's this? What did I say? Jealous, bitter. And it's all about your spirituality or religion. What did I just say at the top of the read? They ain't got nothing else to throw on the tableau. Why? Because you move in silence. And every time they see you, it's like, ta-da! She don't look like what she's been through. Ta-da! She's what? Driving a whole new car. Ta-da! A new job. Ta-da! A new business. Ta-da! More accolades. Ta-da! Your kids are not hood rats. Listen. Because you've had ascension, a breakthrough. You're on your purpose, divine feminine. It wasn't easy. But anything worth having does not come easy. You have a foot in both worlds, and you continue to live your truth. Roof, pinkies up. Listen, if you was in a relationship with them, the sex with them was like Russian roulette, darling dear. Did you know you can arrest someone for giving you an STD? Not just for them, not just for the big boys like the HIVs or the hepatitis and all that. Any form of STD they can be arrested for. What do you mean? You're going to be hearing about a secret child, which is going to be going into the spotlight, darling dears. Right? Look at this. Some of them are going as far as blood magic. Listen, let them keep whooping it up, darling dear. Right? Doing a whole graveyard Watusi in your name. All of this while they're under the judgment. You saw it many times come up, divine feminine. Right? You get the blank card. When I tell you blessings are coming, we already saw some money, a large sum of money, right? Or should I say abundance is coming to you, darling dears. Remember, divine is writing you a blank check. Be careful what you wish for, right? They've got the unsatisfied eyes on you. Yes, man, let them watch this little finger, right? Not ready to give up the toxic lifestyle. That's their business. Why? Hating you is their job. It's their job. It's their career. And they can't sleep. Well, they need to read Isaiah 48:22. No rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked. I lied to everyone about what really happened. Yeah, they're lying to they're lying on you. But we saw the Empress in their energy, darling dears. Every lie they tell, nothing that you do, how you carry yourself, your deportment, your diction, your polyglot, everything says nothing about what they said. People know that they're talking what she's naive out of that slash they call her mouth. They're full of gingivitis. Oh God, we're gonna leave it on that. They've gone that far just to pull one over on you. They'll never get it back. Because the devil always comes for his due, darling dears. That's their business. Let's get one final deck and then we're out of here. We're going to use the... Is it hiding from me? Sometimes these cards hide from me, you know. I'm not even joking. But why would it hide from me? I'm harmless. Alright, we're going to use the... all of them are saying, pick me now. Listen, I'm going to use this one. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. Right? You're going to be healing your family issues, darling dears. You're healing them. If it's your family that you had to cut off, don't worry, man. They're getting a front row seat for your season 2. All right? What did I just say? Abundance, darling dears. So be on the lookout for what the helpmates that are being sent your way. Discernment will be key, as well as what being a keyboard gangster. Everyone gets interviewed. We do the Boosie Badass. Eyes on everyone here at Don't Get Smoked Central. Abundance could be in what? New knowledge, darling dears. A higher perspective. Spiritual blessings. Abundance could be in the form of a progeny, a bambino, whatever it is for you, divine feminine. You wrote this blank check. And the shadow work you've done on yourself is what cashing that check for you. So tell them to email their mama. On that note, I drops me mic for love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, my TikToks. Or if you'd like a personal read, hit me up in the Gmail. Until we meet again on these tarot streets, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Divine feminine. Plot twist. Your season 2 is on the way. Tell your haters to RSVP. Demuma. Big cat wave.